So now let us come to the today's events called King's Talk. So King's Talk is a flagship talk show of KingMakers IAS Academy. So in this flagship talk show event, our main aim is to bring the field experts to the institutions. So we'll go and find the domain experts of a particular topic, and we'll bring the domain experts to the institution, and we will ask the domain experts to motivate and inspire the aspirants. So in the first edition of King's Talk, we had the former cabinet minister and the presidential running candidate, Mr. Yashwant Sinha. In the second edition, we had the first IPS officer, woman IPS officer of India, Sri Kiran Bedi ma'am. In the third edition of King's Talk, we had Mr. Mailswamy Annadurai sir, who is called as the Chandrayaan Moon Man of India. We know Missile Man, who is our Abdul Kalam, but he is called as the Moon Man of India. We had former UPSC chairman, Mr. DP Agarwal, as one of the guests in the King's Talk, where he discussed about the nuances of this particular UPSC examinations preparations. So next we had former director of Labasna, Lal Bahadur Shastri Academy for Administration, where all the civil servants will undergo 1-year training. So we brought the director of Labasna to provide an idea about the civil services training that is going to be once you clear the examinations. So in the recent King's Talk event, we had the former additional chief secretary of West Bengal and former IAS officer, Mr. Balachandran IAS, and he came and he discussed about the journey of India in the last 75 years and opportunities for India at 100. So as an extension, and since we are celebrating the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, in the 9th edition of King's Talk, we have Mr. Bhupendra Kumar Modi ji. So sir is known to be he's a propounder, he's a philanthropist and a propounder of this concept called conscious capitalism. So he's going to be the chief guest for the 9th edition of King's Talk, and he's going to inspire the aspirants on the same topic, Bharat at 100 and role of youth in building this India at 100. So this is going to be the agenda for the day. Now I request our founder director, Mr. Bhuminathan sir, to felicitate the chief guest. The first book is about the history of Chennai, the historical city of Chennai and the history. And the second book, I Sing the Glory of This Land, is a poem written by our fierce poet, Mr. Bharadiyar, regarding the culture of this nation. Thank you, sir. Now, I request our founder director, Mr. Bhuminathan sir, to welcome the guests. Yes, sir. After these people.
Respected chief guest, Singaporean businessman, social entrepreneur, philanthropist, a chemical engineer from Indian Institute of Technology, an MBA from the University of Southern California, who was awarded PhD in financial management. The global thought leader, Dr. Modi, is the founder chairman of the Smart Group, founder of the Global Citizen Forum, and global chairman of the Foreign Investors India Forum. Our chief guest is recognized as a global business leader and a pioneer in office automation, telecom, healthcare, electric vehicles, global citizenship, and omniscience. Our chief guest has been called the JV King of India. Today he is in KingMakers for his alliances with the leading international business partners. He brought several technologies to India, for which he is known as a man of many firsts. His latest ventures in healthcare are directed towards helping people live smart lives beyond 100, for which he has been bestowed with an epithet of global leader in wellness. Dr. Modi's business achievements have earned him several accolades. He is also a regular feature of the prestigious Forbes billionaire list. As a global thought leader, Dr. Modi has always pursued a holistic approach to business and society. He has led diverse efforts to create a unified world beyond gender, beyond religion, and beyond nationality, which stem from his constant pursuit of a higher quality of life and a more inclusive thought process. Our chief guest, globally renowned for going beyond boundaries, Dr. Modi's campaign of going beyond gender and beyond religion, along with his work with international organizations like the United Nations, have earned him numerous accolades, including a commendation by US Congress. He was also felicitated as an ambassador for peace by the Universal Peace Federation, a UN affiliated NGO. In 2019, he was appointed the honorary president of the World Federation of United Nations Associations. His initiatives Beyond 100, with the promise of helping its users live happy and healthy lives beyond 100 years of age. The smart group's Modi Medicity in New Delhi will include stem cell bank and research, rehab facilities, assisted living, residencies, and anti-aging. Rampur Modi City, smart visions of future. And upcoming smart cities spread over 115 acres in Rampur, Uttar Pradesh. The Rampur Modi City is just a short distance away from India's capital city of New Delhi. Envisaged as one of India's leading private and futuristic smart cities, the Rampur Modi City is envisioned to integrate planned urban development, technology, and green energy sources to a hub of innovation, manufacturing, and wellness. The solar-enabled smart city will be designed with a state-of-the-art of manufacturing unit at its heart, surrounded by wellness community, living spaces, and entertainment complex, educational facilities, and a wellness hotel. In the entertainment field, he produced movies which even got National Film Award in India, including Oh My God, Buddha, and upcoming Adi Sankaracharya. In literary field also, he has written several books, including Hinduism, the Universal Truth in 1993, Performance, a Manager's Challenge in 1995, One God in 2000, and India and Hinduism in 2002. Such a great personality. Today he is with us for the 9th edition of the King's Talk. We are all really happy and we are all really blessed. We like to thank our founder director, Mr. Anand Sahu sir, for introducing such a great chief guest. Today he has joined in the program and he is also eagerly waiting to listen. And today we are really fortunate to have such a great personality with us. Now the King's Talk is beginning. You are all eagerly waiting to listen to our chief guest. Now I request our chief guest to address our students. Once again, I take this opportunity to welcome our chief guest, BK Modi sir, and Madam, and Preeti ma'am, and Payal ma'am, and they have come all the way from Delhi to Chennai to inspire you, to address you, to motivate you. And I'm sure this day is a greatest day in Kingmakers. Now over to JV King of India.
So thank you, sir, for the introduction speech. Now I request our founder director to felicitate our guest with the bust of Tiruvallur. Tiruvallur is considered to be a very important philosopher and thought leader of the Tamil culture, and he has given a very important work called Tirukkural, which consists of 1330 couplets. It talks about the life with respect to economy and with respect to governance and with respect to personal life. So, so we are providing the bust of Tiruvallur to our chief guest. Thank you, sir. I also welcome our director, Mr. Anand Sahu sir, who is former member of Minimum Wages Commission. So, sir is also a philanthropist and activist, and is founder of an NGO. So, I welcome sir. Sir has joined online. So now I request our chief guest, Mr. Modi sir, to address the students regarding the Bharat at 100. So over to you, sir. Yes, sir.
I must congratulate your management to take the courage to invite somebody from the private sector to address you. I've been listening to all the other 8 speakers you had earlier, and I'm very fortunate to be the first one, I think, from the private sector. The world, as we see, has many nations. And today you must be reading the TV and everywhere. There's a division of the world taking place between the nations which are democratic and which are nations which are ruled by people in a non-democratic manner, in an authoritative way. And that is why India is fortunate that we are the largest democracy in the world. And I think all of you are very fortunate to be born in India, born in Bharat, a country which has a tremendous culture. Sorry, excuse me. Can I also use that is what? Yeah. Okay. Can you hear me? Yeah. So Bharat is also a nation which has a tremendous past. But unfortunately, I think Chennai did not have that misfortune, but most of the India was ruled by people from outside. I think South India saved somewhat for many of these people who came from outside and tried to put their philosophies, their thinking on the people from Bharat. But fortunately, they have not succeeded. And when India got independence in 1947, we were still very much democratic thinking nation. We were very much nation which kept our culture. And I must congratulate the mothers of India who taught their children to remain Bharatiya, they remain keeping with the culture of the nation. And that maintained. Not many nations could do that because when they were ruled by outsiders, they thrust their religion on them, they thrust their way of working, and they thrust their way of thinking. I think one of the biggest things our country has achieved and our leaders have achieved, and this is not only political leaders, they are religious leaders, they are leaders from different fields, business leaders, social leaders. Everybody has maintained, and I must also here mention the monarchy of India. The kings of India at least maintain the culture. You know, they have given up to British rule or other rules, but they never gave up the culture of Bharat. It's coming proper.
Yes.
Fine.
Okay. Now it's okay?
To hold it, but
You want me
Yeah,
to-
it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. Everything is coming. Thank you.
Please, Mr.
yes, I'll
Yield.
Small, huh? Size is small.
No, sir.
no.
No, sir.
No?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Perfect.
No.
Perfect.
This is a modern device, right? Which is good. Technology always has to be appreciated. I think one thing which make Bharat at 100 jump as a global nation, as a leader in global nations, is technology. And that is why I'm glad that your institute is trying to use the latest technology, including what we see. Our friend Anand Sahu, he is on the screen. He's able to join from Delhi. And also, you have fitted me with a proper mic, which is there. So I was coming to the fortunate part of being born in India. And this is something which you should all remember. I have been living out of India for many, many years. I have been virtually 30 years, have spent not most of my time, but at least 70% of my time out of India. And what I've realized that more I spend time out and see the cultures of other nations, we are still very lucky to be what we are. And the future of, I keep using India and Bharat because when we talk of culture, we have to talk of Bharat. When we talk of country, we talk of India because that's what I see on the map there. It's still, as we have changed the name of Chennai from Madras, I think in future we'll be able to change the name of India to Bharat. That's something we all desire to have. And I think Bharat at 100, that will happen. And that's why we call it Bharat at 100. So coming back to, the fortunate part of being born here, because we are all young and you have a great opportunity in front of you. Because we are going to be, though our land, which you say there is so small, you see the world map there. Now you can say that India would be what? 1 or 2% of the land which is there. But we are going to be
Yes.
20% of the working population of the world. That means that the whole world will be looking at India, their youth, to engage with the, trying to hire them. And that's why there's so much demand for the Indians world over.
Now it will be comfortable. Is it comfortable, sir?
No, I'm comfortable, but you should be comfortable.
Yeah, yes.
It's okay now?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I think I was talking that we will be 20% of the workforce. And everybody is looking Bharat to lead the world. And here I switch from India to Bharat. Because the difference between Bharat and India is in spiritual thinking, a thinking of oneness. We believe that the God is inside us. It's not something which is different than my God or a guy who is from US or from China or from any other country. Every human being, every being has a God inside us. And this is now scientifically proven. In fact, we talked of the wellness. So now I'm in an industry where we have analyzed that our body is made of cells. And these cells are hollow in a way, something similar what the space is. So if you take the whole population of the world, which is say 7.6 billion people, the total weight of the matter is only equivalent to a cube, sugar cube. Just a sugar cube. So what you see is not what you are. It's like from outside you look solid, from inside you are hollow. And that is the discovery which our people did long back. Adi Shankaracharya has been saying, and I'm taking a movie on Adi Shankaracharya, that I'm not a matter, I am a conscious being. And I'm not something which dies. I'm there before or after. And then every particle I am there, every part of the body I am there. And this is now proven with the help of science that every cell has what they call a mini or a brain, nano brain. And this nano brain can communicate with the other cell, which also has a nano brain. So if you try to define God, it is like unlimited brain. The God is something which has a brain which cannot be matched by anybody because he can create things for perfection. That's why what you see around the earth, including human beings, the whole nature has so much of perfection in it. Because this is created by somebody who had that brain to create it. So that part was understood by our Vedas way back. And today the science when it's developing is realizing that. So rightly so, our Prime Minister has been talking as Bharat as Vishnu. But when we talk of Vishnu, he also talk of Adi Shankaracharya. Because Adi Shankaracharya statue, as you know, has been recently put in Kerala. And why it has been put there is because Adi Shankaracharya was the one who taught the philosophy of Advaita, the philosophy of oneness. And it is only with this philosophy, if you go to the world, they will accept you and you will accept them. Because if you see a difference between me and you, then it's very difficult to work together. But if there's no difference, if all of us are same, and that includes man and woman, then there's no problem. The problem is when we see the difference. Then we say who is better, who is worse. But if all are same, then there's no difference. And that's why I'm very glad to see here that there are a lot of women who are wanting to learn and be part of the, making new India. And this new India will be what we will see be the leader of the world, not a follower. And that's where we come at Bharat at 100. All projections, and I say all projections by major organizations, have projected that Bharat will be the biggest democratic nation in the world. And it will have the philosophy of bringing peace to the world. Today, when I meet people from other nations like Korea, like Japan, like Singapore, like Thailand, they all want Bharat to be the leader. They don't want China to be the leader. They don't want US to be the leader. They want Bharat to be the leader. Because they know that when Bharat will be the leader, the peace will come. Because Bharat doesn't have a hidden agenda to kill people, to make themselves superior to others. They are able to say, well, even if they are rich or poor, doesn't matter, that we are safe. And that philosophy is only in our culture. And that's why everybody loves us. And that's why when some of you are going to North India, to other parts of India, I think everybody in Bharat is now coming to know that we are all Bharati. We are all same, country. So maybe some of you, that movie came, Chak De India. There's a hockey team which is coming from all over. And then they all realize they are Indian team. The same thing applies for the students, to the IAS officers, to the IPS officers. And that's why this is very important that there's a common, what I call a system, whether you are from Tamil Nadu or whether you are from UP or anywhere, you all read the same thing and you all have to pass the same exam of IAS and IPS, which allows you to be working on an equal level, irrespective of your state. And that is a very big equalizer which is happening. And that's why a lot of women are now getting into IAS and even IPS and being successful because there's no differentiation which is there. So this is what we have achieved by till we are 75. Amrit Mahotsav, which we just celebrated. But now we have to think much beyond that. So when we talk of Bharat at 100, we are talking of global leadership, not only Bharat leadership. And global leadership can only come if you start thinking globally. I was told your teacher is teaching you not only politics of Bharat, but global politics. What is happening world over? Because world is so connected now that what happens in one part of the world have effect on others. We have seen that in the Ukraine war, which has recently happened, what is happening in Taiwan, or any other places in the world. It affects everybody. The stock market gets affected, the movement of grain, food shortage, all that get affected, oil, everything get affected. Because world is one now. The whole economy of the world is one. And in this one world, though politically you are different, but commercially you are one. The rupee or dollar doesn't matter. It's all money, and they can be converted into one another. So the currency has become one with the help of credit card. I use the same credit card whether I'm here or there or anywhere. And nowadays you use the same Uber anywhere in the world. Anything what you see on your mobile phone, Amazon, Flipkart, you can use anywhere. So the world has become one with the help of what we call the technologies which are coming from the space, from the cloud. And this is what we have already achieved. And in this time of COVID, we run schools. I have got nearly 25,000 students in our various schools which are there. But during COVID, they can all learn from home. I don't know about here, but our schools collected the total fee, 90%. And everybody worked at home and they passed also with good marks. So this has pushed people to use technology on their day-to-day work. It's always happened in business. In business, I work world over, but it's my mobile phone, which is my office. Because through that, I can work anywhere in the world and without any problem. So technology is changing very much. You will soon see a next level of technology. The next level of technology is beyond the atmosphere. At present, you talk of frequencies, 3G, 4G, 5G. These are frequencies which exist on Earth in the atmosphere. Now you will have technologies which are coming through space. You must have heard of Starlink, it is coming from space. So you're not even using atmosphere, you're not using frequency, you're using satellites to communicate to each other. So this is the new world opening. These people have already started going to space for tourism, just for the fun, and this is going to increase with time. They are talking of industry in the space, the minerals in space, the amount of wealth which is lying in the various planets, moon and others, and that will also be explored. So I think we are living in a society of abundance. This whole idea of shortage, what will happen if India will become 140 crore, 150 crore, whether we'll have problems? No. There's so much of abundance available. The God has created enough for everything, however growth takes place. And that is why this feeling about a shortage is just in mind. So I think this is just my starting point, which I wanted to make. But I wanted to have from you at least 5 or 6 ideas which you think Bharat should be ahead. So whoever has those ideas, because I'm not here to learn also. And I know that you guys are thinking, you want to change Bharat, you want to make a new Bharat. And each one of you have your own ideas for doing that. So let's hear at least 5 or 6 ideas with your help from the students that what you think Bharat should be and what you will suggest to do.
Sure. Sir, before we could go to the audience, can I ask a few questions?
Yes, please. You are representing the audience yourself.
Sir, since you have represented the firm sector, that is the business sector of the nation, and we are all going to aspire to work in the government sector. So always these two sectors are considered to be an opposing at one point of time. Then there was a collaboration. Now we are having a synergy. So as a person representing the business sector, what should be the role of IAS officers or civil servants with respect to the national building?
I think you're right that most of the business people are a little fed up of IAS and IPS because they go by the book, which they have to. And they are given a book and they said, this book is you should follow. They follow the rules. That's their job, to follow the rules. But sometimes it moves little more than that. You have to use your brain also. So I tell you a story which is told to me by a prime minister. I won't name him, but he was prime minister of India and he was fed up of bureaucracy. So he told me a story that once a finance secretary, retired and went to his home in the village. And he has no job because in the village, there is no government institution, there's nothing. So his wife told him that you must do something, even not money, just free of cost, but you must take a job. You must spend time outside home. So he went around the village and found that is there any public institution? So in village, there is no public institutions, but they said that there is one temple which does not belong to anybody. It belongs to the village. So that is like a public institution. So you can go and check from the village, a Purohit of the temple. So he went and took to the Purohit and he said, look, whatever rules you have, I'll make sure it is done. So the Purohit said, look, we have no rules. He said, you can't run an institution without rules. There must be some rule in the temple. So the Purohit said, in temple, we have one rule. You can't wear shoes inside the temple. So he said, okay, I'll implement that. I'll make sure that nobody wears shoes inside the temple. So he put a big board outside the temple and he said, please remove your shoes here before you enter the temple by the authority of the temple management, and he signed it. So now he has a role that he must make sure that everybody who comes to the temple should remove his shoes. One day, some villagers came. They had no shoes. They were, came without any shoes. And he said, no. The rule is you have to remove the shoes. So he said, but we are not wearing shoes, what we can remove? He said, I don't give a damn. The rule is you have to remove the shoes. So you go and buy the shoes, wear them and remove them, then only you can enter with them. So this is what sometimes this is told to me by the Prime Minister of India. Nobody less than that. So what I'm trying to tell you is that rules are there. But when a politician who in charge, he can break the rule. He say, I'm the minister, you have to obey me. And I feel this is the law. This has to be, rule has to be interpreted this way. And then you have to do that because he's your minister or he's your boss. But for the public, you have to be yourself conscious to make the rule in a way that for in which intention it was made. So that is one thing I must say. And I was coming here, so I was with Apollo hospital people. So Miss Reddy, Sangeeta Reddy was there. And she said, where are you going? I said, I'm going to address some people who are aspiring to be IAS. He said, oh my God, you must tell them that make life easy, not difficult. So I think, but I think in private sector also, we are for talent. It's not that the private sector don't go for talent. We also go and check the credentials of the people who work for us. I also hire people who are done very well in college, in their schools. We have not so much rigid entrance exams which are there, but we have a training of 3 to 6 months, which any entrant has to go either on job or off job to understand what he's supposed to do. So, but we take a degree, that is whatever degree he has in his college as a basis degree, and we don't do the entrance exam. But when there's so much rush, like everybody wants to be IAS and IPS, how do you make sure who to get in, who to not to get in? And that's why I think this exam thing came in. And you guys have to work. You may be topper in your class when you did your BSc or when you did your whatever courses you did. But here, that doesn't matter. Here, you have to pass an exam, which may be different because they want you to know everything. IAS is an officer should know every subject, whole world. They should be able to, as they say, be masters of everything.
Jack of all.
They end up being jack of all and master of none, but they are supposed to be master of all. That's expected of them. Because IAS officer, when you become a collector, a district magistrate, or IPS SSP, for the public at large, he is like a person who knows everything. So when he goes to him or her, he is expecting that he knows everything. He knows all the rules. He knows everything what needs to be done, and he will help him to find way how to do it. And I say when I have problem in my company and I have lawyers and everything, I said go and take advice from IAS officer how to apply or how to go with the rule. So they know rules much better than any lawyer is there because they have been practicing it. So I think if I don't know whether I answered your question, but the idea is same that whether it's public sector or private sector, doesn't matter. We are in democracy. And in democracy, everybody has rights. I was just checking before coming here, and I think Preeti Malhotra was telling me, sir, we are taxed on the basis of our perquisites. So I said, what about IAS officer? He said, no, they are not taxed on their perquisites like we are. So we pay higher tax than they pay in terms of what they get. But they get less. So that's why private sector pays more, because they have to make sure that the take-home pay is not less than what is in the government so that they can attract talent too. So I think there are some issues which are there and the way they fund. So if you look at US, for example, another big democracy, which is they also have people coming and working on administrative service, but they are doing that up to the joint secretary level. They don't take it to the top level. And even in the police, a person who is not an IPS or who is not trained can become the chief because of his work. So IPS and IAS take you to certain level, not up to the top. In India, they are being lazy, in recruitment. So they say, okay, we have this IS, let them go to right to the top. And that's something, personally, I feel that should be other people, like IAS officers have told, given 6 to 8 chances to pass. So they should be other people. And now a lot of ministry are doing that.
Lateral
And not relating.
Lateral entries.
Lateral entries. So they are doing lateral entries for people who are engineers, MBAs who have been educated outside. They come back and they take jobs of a secretary or a person with special duties. But that is something which needs to be reformed. That it's not that only IS officers should go to the top. There should be a lateral entry of people who are well qualified in various fields, whether they come from private sector or they come from outside India or wherever, to be allowed to come in. But they all want to build India. We all want to build Bharat. So there is no difference between my job and your job from that angle, and the job which my people have in my company, which is also sometimes very bureaucratic. We have a similar issue that we also have rules. So in our rules also sometimes there's a bureaucracy, but we try this letter entries in our group. We don't let everybody goes by the years of service. Year of service is one of the criteria, but not the only criteria. I have Preeti Malhotra here who has been with me for 32 years, but she is one exception, which is there. A lot of them, did move. So we call it what I call in private sector amoeba structure. An amoeba is something which can take any shape, which is suppose IS officers also supposed to be amoebas. But sometimes they get in a mold and they don't get out of the mold. So if they are done a job of SSB, they will, when they go to DIG or whatever they become later, they like to have a same sort of value system, which may not be truly required for that job.
To make the bureaucracy relevant, we need lateral entry. Sir, out of curiosity, another question. We have a topic called ethics in corporate governance in our paper in one of our topics. So since you are a proponent of conscious capitalism, if you could talk briefly about the philosophy behind it, it will be very beneficial for us to write our answers regarding conscious capitalism.
I don't know about writing answers because sometimes your examiner may not like my answer. But he said you have to write what is taught to you, not what is the real answer.
He'll be enriched with your
So I think ethics is very, very important. Corporate governance, we call it, is very important. And I feel myself get very high marks to that. In our group, we have people who are focused only on corporate governance, and they make sure that ethics are followed. And we are also in healthcare industry, so ethics are very important. We have ethics committees also. I'm glad that Preeti Malhotra, again, I have to quote her, because she is our head of corporate governance. And she is the ethical, what we call, I won't say officer, ethical leader in our group. So our job is to make sure that we follow the ethics. We are not out of the law applies to all of us. No, it's foolish not to follow the law. I don't know why you should break a law. Because if you're caught, all your years of work goes down the drain. Whether you IPS even, you can't break the law personally. So I think laws are laws and has to be followed. We work quite hard to get the laws changed. I've got a lot of laws changed in my life. I keep on trying. Because I think it's important to modify the law, but till it's a law, it's a law. But law does not mean you can't change it. And the law can be changed by the parliament of the country. And the parliament is supposed to change the laws. That was Anna Hazare movement, that we should change the laws. We should bring good laws. And we should debate that. And I think that's where the country also needs to change laws to be Bharat at 100. Because if they remain same, so one of the laws we are trying to change is in terms of globalization of Bharat. So what is Bharat lives in India? What is the Bharat lives outside India? So there are a small Bharat, what they call Little India, in every big city of the world. And there are people who live there, they are very hard and everything. But then they come back, they are taxed in India also. So they should be taxed at what place? So if you are being taxed in the country which you are working, then why you should be taxed in the country if you come to Bharat? But the law is that they come here, they want to settle here, they pay tax in their country, and they also pay tax here if they stay for more than certain days. And that's one of the reasons why a lot of people from Bharat, from outside, who want to shift to Bharat. It's an easy life here. You know, in US where I live, you pay $20 per hour to a maid. How many maids you can afford? So it's very a driver cost that, a cook cost that. Now $20 means 16,000 rupees per hour. That's the cost. Not 16, not 1,600. 1,600 rupees per hour. That is 16,000 rupees per day if he works for 10 hours. So that's the cost which is there. So the life is tough there. Here, if they come, they can shift their headquarters here. There are a lot of CEOs outside who love to shift their, even Google headquarters could be in India. Even many company CEOs can decide, yeah, I want to have my headquarters in India. And my overhead cost will be less. I'll employ people from India who are more smarter than the people he's hiring in US. So there are many ways things can be done. So Bharat has to be redefined as wherever the Bharatiyas are, that's Bharat. It's not the boundary we have. So we have Bharat all over the world. And that's, we are working on changing that.
So now we'll go to the
Sorry.
You have visited almost both of the countries, developing and developing. And what are the major challenges that you are seeing in India, particularly economical challenges for another 25 years? And how these challenges can be converted into opportunities?
I think the major challenge in India is the confidence. What happens is over the years, we feel that this cannot be achieved. This is out of my hands. This is something will not never happen. And this lack of confidence, on one side we say that God is in us. If God is in us, we can achieve anything. Why should there be a feeling that you cannot achieve it? And I think that's the major difference which I see is a lack of confidence. In the other countries, because they have not seen being ruled by other countries. Because if you go to UK, they have not been ruled by anybody. If you go to US, they had their independence from British long back. Same in Singapore, they got their independence, now they got their confidence to build a smart city. So the lack of confidence that you are less than anybody, which you are not. And I think that confidence has to come back. And I think I see that in women now coming, because previously the women were not seen to have that confidence to be able to beat the boys. But when they start beating them in academy, they got the confidence because they could be measured. The same way we have to have that confidence. And I must tell you that whoever has gone from north to south or east or west and work hard has been successful. In your own, what I call house, sometimes you don't get that confidence because they consider you are still a child. You are still being protected. You need protection. I don't think you need protection after 16 or 18 years of age. I went to boarding school at the age of 7.5. I was 8 years in school in boarding, 5 years in college in boarding, and then 2 years in USA. So I've been out of my house for 17 years, thank God. So my confidence was not tempered by my mother's love or my father's love. Because your confidence is tempered because they feel you need protection. I don't think you need protection, either woman or man. Sometimes you need to be together. So if you have 10 women together and one man separate, he will have less confidence. It's all about who is in the majority. And I think this college, I don't see women having less confidence because 60% are women. But if you have 20% women, maybe they will have less confidence. But with a 60% women, why should they have less confidence? They are a majority. So I think there are many ways this confidence is lacking, but it's coming up. The education is bringing it to show the marks. So when I went for study in MBA, initially they thought I'm coming from India, I don't know this, I don't know that, but I knew my maths, I knew my subjects. So very soon in the first semester itself, I realized that I can do much better than them. So there was no lack of confidence. It's performance. So if you are able to perform and you are able to excel, then there is no lack of confidence. But that's where I think India needs that confidence. And that confidence is there in other countries because in their history, what they teach is we rule this nation, we rule that nation, we are so grand, we are the ruler of the, if you go to US, they think we are the ruler of the world, we are different, we are much superior than any person in the world. So their confidence is at a different level, sometimes misused also. But in India, we have been got a lot of love, a lot of affection, which is good. But that is only good till certain years. Once you grow up and you have become a man or woman, you should be on your own. You should be able to find your own life. You should be able to find your own ways. And you should have a confidence that you will be able to build your own career in the passion you have. I think that's where there is a certain amount of lackness I see. There, even if you work in a McDonald's as a waiter, doesn't matter. You're still getting $20 per hour. So your salary is not much less, which is there. So I think here the difference is very large. This is one thing I told, we are taking a law change. So when Prime Minister Modi announced, I'll give you 15 lakhs each in your bank, I thought he will give it. He's a Prime Minister, he can give it. But he didn't. And then he said, I don't have the money. I don't believe that. How can you have no money? When you can print the money, then where is the question of no money? India is not a nation under somebody. So for a Prime Minister to give 15 lakhs, for which he was made Prime Minister, that was the main thing. He said two things. I'll remove the corruption and the money I will save from the corruption, I'll distribute. He did not one thing, he did everything. I think I want to see that before 24, and I'm going to pressurize him in my own way. And you should pressurize him in your own way. When you promise somebody some money, you should pay it. And that 15 lakhs is due to you. Please take it. It is for you. He has promised. It's like a promissory note, right? So these are things which brings confidence, right? Nobody should get away by promising things and not deliver it. And that's where the IAS and IPS can also pressurize the politician, not the other way around.
Shall we go to the student?
Yes.
Really a pleasure to invite to King's Talk. It was really nice discussing with you. I just want to concentrate on two things as you were asking. Two different areas of group, like young adults and children. In children, values, skills, and knowledge be implemented in the earlier stages of life. Being a psychologist, I want young adults should be refined in certain areas. Very important. So higher authorities, if they are taking care of, then better India will be within 25 years.
So that I think the children has to get confidence. As you are a mother, I think. How many children you have? 2. So as a child, we have these books, which is full of confidence. Superheroes, Mahabharata, Ramayana. If you read them, you get huge confidence. Even Gita is based on knowledge. So before I went to my college, school, boarding school, my mother said, you must read these books. They will not teach you there, but this will give you confidence. And I think nowadays, these movies which are coming, like RRR, like, all these movies from South, very, very successful, and Bahubali. So that is the new kind of heroes, new kind of heroines, which are much beyond, which is there because you need heroes in your life. You need heroines in your life. You don't need just mother, father as hero, heroine. You need bigger than life people in your life. Then only you can think big. So I think we have that. We have that in our books, in our. If you look at Western, if you look at, I don't want to denounce anything. Our gods are like super gods. They are all very wealthy, full of valor, and they have special powers. They fight for right things. And whoever is righteous win. And they are like Ravan is killed because he's not right, and the Duryodhana loses because he is not right. So whoever is right wins, righteous people. Dharma ke saath jo chalta hai. The person with the dharma. So I think we have a lot in our to give us confidence. And we also believe, as I said, the God is inside you. What more confidence you want? If the God is inside you, you are God. That's what Adi Shankaracharya said. Aham Brahmasmi. I am God. You are God. Now we are gods. Then what is left? Now all this, what you call a mental and all that, this is sad that you have some of these are medical things. It's not always is confidence or something. They have something gone wrong during their birth sometime or during their young age, that they have some deficiencies in their brain. I also have a grandson who has this deficiency, and this was at the birth. He had something. So he has to be taken care of. But that's only 1% or 0.5% of the population. Most of the children comes out right. There's always some people have issues because some oxygen didn't go or something happened at the time of birth. So I think I believe that naturally we have to take care of everybody, but at least people are okay. If they are going well, then they will be taking care of people who are not okay. It is there. And that compliment is there. That's only 1%. If 99% is okay, then to take care of 1% is a very small problem. It's not a big problem which is there.
I will take. So let us check how much confidence the students are. Any confidence?
Yes. Yeah. Many. Yeah.
So three of you.
Yeah.
And then you can say that. So that we are coming forward.
Yes.
Yes.
Sir, I have a suggestion and one question. So my question would be that India is committed to achieve carbon neutrality by 2030.
What is
Carbon neutrality.
Yes. Yes.
So how important the use of electric vehicles to achieve it? And how do we promote the use of electric vehicles and mobility?
Your suggestion?
And my suggestion for India at 100 is how I visualize India is I want to more gender equal India with more representation of women in all the in parliament, states and judiciary, as well as in the private sector as well. So I visualize India as well.
So your suggestion is 100% accepted. So that part is, we have no difference of opinion at all. The first part is that, the carbon print, when you say, is on the earth. We have one earth. And everybody has to take care of it. But unfortunately, we talk about carbon print on one side and we have wars. We have so much pollution because the biggest pollution is wars. If you put a bombs on the thing. So I think we are not serious. As a globe, we are not serious. Naturally, India is serious. They are talking of solar power. They are talking of electric vehicles. They are talking of everything. But I think still what happens is if you bring new technology, the old has to die. It's not an easy solution. If electric car comes, the petrol car will go off. So the guys who are producing petrol car, they are fighting. that electric car will shut down. So it's not easy to change technology. So I was just saying with Apollo Hospital, so I was telling them that we have this technology of that you will not have cancer, you will not have heart attack, you will not have everything. They said, if you bring that technology, Apollo will die. The hospital will not have patients. So I think new technologies lead to confrontation. And that confrontation has to be won by new technology, but it takes time. But the old technology has its roots. They have all the IAS officers with them because of the past. So they have the system with them and they don't allow the new technology. So when I brought electric cars and all that, so one of the major car player came to, and he's also want to be electric car. I said, let's work together. He said, no, we can't work with you because you're going to kill us. We want coexistence. We want petrol as well as electric. I said, but one has to pay. So when I bring mobile phones in the country, the fixed line got killed. You don't see that. So when you bring new technology, the old technology has to be killed. And unless you kill it, the new technology will not be successful. But people who are in the old technology don't want to get killed. So they fight. And they fight with all their vigor with the help of the system. But they have the money, they have the market, so they don't give up the market. So that's what is the fight going between the electric cars. It's nothing to do with the what is better. It is what is commercially, you have to fight it out. It's like a war. Don't think the war is always only on the fields. We fight war on the market. The market is law. So when you say private sector, there's no monopoly. That's why when government is tries to be in competition, they fail. Look at Air India, look at telecom, look at so many companies. They are okay when there is no competition as such, but there's fierce competition. So I have built a lot of companies, but I have also closed a lot of companies. It's not that when I built a company, I also close it because I closed the old technology to get into the new technology. So Apollo was telling me we want to be coexisting. I said you are in a fool's world. There's nothing like coexistence. It's a question of winners takes all. Whoever wins, he takes all the market. So we are in a very competitive market, and this should be there. That's the success of democracy. Everybody can win. But if somebody wins, somebody loses. The market forces. You can't have both. Thank you.
I was talking about creative discussion.
Yeah.
So now we are having our next student, Bharani, to ask the question and answer it.
First, I'd like to put my question. As you said, India has a large number of workforce. There is a lot of informalization in India. So, rather than 100, I visualize it as a formal India where people are able to reap all the benefits of labor laws and they get social security benefits also. And then now I like to come to my question. When we speak about abundance, there is a major concern with respect to disparities in distribution. So, with a lot of finite technologies coming in, there is a lot of technological scope. How, what best can be done to avoid this disparity even worldwide and within India?
No, you are absolutely right. The suggestion is right also.
But
No, it can be eradicated. It's not that. That's why there is the point of 15 lakhs. If you get 15 lakhs in your pocket, the gaps get bridged, right? Because 15 lakhs is not just 15 lakhs. 15 lakhs is a hope. You have hope to earn, you have to hope to change your life. And that change has to be done once correction has to be done. You can't be poor all your life. You can't be, live in a shortage all your life. So there has to be a certain correction take place. And the correction has to be at the bottom level. Where we are having salaries very low, 12,000, 30,000 month, something there. 1,40,000, 50,000. It's criminal to have human being at that salaries, and they cannot take care of, their needs. So I tell you example of Ford Motors. So when Ford Motors started, Mr. Henry Ford, who started it, he started building these motor cars, and there was no taker. Nobody could afford it. The workers, the people could not afford it because they said we can't afford it. So he said, okay, I'll give to my employees one car as part of their requisite. As soon as he gave one car to one person, his company, all the companies worker wanted a car. They said, if Ford gives it, you should also give it. So US, there was a rate that every employee should have a car. That means he should have some minimum wages. How will you run a car if you don't have minimum wages? That's how the concept of minimum wages comes. So one is the security, what you said, minimum security, that you should have enough money to eat and live. But then there's enough money to have a certain lifestyle, which is there. That's the second part. I think there's a courage required again by the government. I give a suggestion to the government that print notes. Nothing is going to happen. You know how many notes America print every year? More than $1 trillion. Just print. And you think dollar is getting weaker? No, it's getting stronger. The country should be independent from mental colonization. We are still in mental colonization. We go by the rules. I mean, America, the inflation went up to 8%. There was a big cry that America inflation is up. The president made a comment to it. I don't agree that inflation has nothing to do with it. We believe in jobs. So the jobs have gone up, even if the inflation goes, doesn't matter. As long as the jobs are there. Because the jobs are not there, they have to pay so much money to people from the government. And they said we can control the inflation. They increase the interest rates and they control the inflation. But they didn't worry about inflation. Here, if there's inflation, our economists will start, making a human cry. The inflation doesn't hit the common man. For him, is rupee. If a rupee has become cheaper, a dollar has become costlier, how does it affect you? It doesn't affect you if it's 80 rupees. Because you're not spending in dollars. So I think as a free country, we should have a free mental mind. And unfortunately, we don't teach finance that well. Even to IAS officers. They are very big, very bad in terms of calculations. We don't have mathematicians. My favorite subject on mathematics. And I think finance is the key. I have PhD in finance. And people should understand money is money. It's paper money. Today it's a fiat money. It's not money backed by gold, which used to be in the past. I think you must be teaching your students. That is a fiat money. Fiat money means it has no backup. It's just a paper. Because India has so much gold in the private hands that whatever they print, they have enough coverage. Even one temple, Padmanaಭ Swami temple, has $1 trillion worth of gold in it. So where is no abundance? And we don't even touch it because we have faith. If we don't have abundance, who can get so much gold lying, no problem. Because we believe in abundance. So there is abundance, but we are not using it. Okay?
See how many questions we can take.
That's it. Yeah, please, go on.
Yeah, delivering Amrit also. We are talking about modern technology like 4G, 5G, artificial intelligence, but we are still lagging in basic technologies. Like we saw many states on manual scanning. It shows technologies will not fully reach on downtrodden peoples in the rural areas. What is the reason behind it and how to tackle it?
No, technology has to reach the rural area. If the technology does not reach the rural area, it's not a technology. Because the masses are in rural areas and technology success is in rural area. So when we brought mobile phones, which we started, we knew that it will go to the rural areas. It took time, but it went. If you are talking of solar energy, it's going to the rural area. If you are talking of anything to do with agriculture technology, it goes to the rural area. So the country is built from bottom, not from the top. Having few rich people will not build the country. The country will be built only if the people, the minimum amount of salary, according to you, what it should. What should be the minimum income of a person per year? Minimum.
30,000.
Huh?
30,000.
Per month. Per month, 30,000.
360,000. Yeah. I think it should be more than that. Because that's what is required. You said 30,000 and little higher than you thought I should say higher, right? You could have said 50,000. You could have said 70,000. But you would have thought, Yadima, if I say 50,000, I will look foolish. It was too high. Yeah, but it's not too high. That's what we have to think. That's what I'm talking about. We have to increase that. We have to increase our living standards. It's increased from what it was. It has to increase more. And the rural area, that's why Anand Sahu does. He's working towards unorganized labor. And first time he got a policy done for unorganized labor, which was there, which is the lowest paid, what they call the Dihadi Mazdoor, who just get paid on a daily basis. He was. So there the Dihadi Mazdoor is hourly Mazdoor, not even Dihadi. Dihadi is 1 day. Hour is 1 hour. He gets paid for 1 hour and he can do many jobs. So he can work 3 hours here, 4 hours there, you can earn money. So I think we have to change that thinking. And that's why I said, no abundance. What will happen if we give 15 lakhs? Nothing will happen. People will get money. The people who won't get money, they are safe. But people who will get money will become bigger. So the question is, you have to go down that's what the politicians are supposed to do. Why the thing people chose Narendra Modi? Who was he? A guy from nowhere with a background of a chaiwala. But he caught the people's imagination because he said, I'll make you rich. And people said, and he said, I'll remove the corruption. But whether the IAS won or he won, I don't know. But the point is this, the corruption is abundance here. And the people are where they are. Some improvement has taken, but not enough. I think he's coming again, 2024. This time, don't leave him. Make him pay.
Can we have one more question?
Please.
Yes, Karthik.
Namaskar.
You started with so much. Actually, in the era of globalized world, what do you think will be the ways to ensure cultural sustainability? Because we are focusing upon ecological sustainability. What are the ways to cultural sustainability? Because in this world, there's a constantly people are trying to put a Western template on Bharatiya civilization, Bharatiya culture, and where we have a lot of intellectual resources, we still suffer in the filing the patents and getting the patent rights. What would be your suggestion? Ensure cultural sustainability.
No, I think it's a concern which a lot of people have, that whether we lose our culture. But I think the history tells that we have not lost it. If you look at the history of India, thousands of years of domination from outside culture, from British culture, from Islamic culture. What has happened? So many, if you look at empires or the nation, their culture has died. Your Roman culture has died. So many cultures have died. But our cultures have not died. The reason it is not dying is that we are not against anybody. If we are against anybody, it's like either you or me. Then, there's a fight. In fight, as I said, one will win. But if you are saying you are also winning, I am also winning, we are saying, then how will you kill the culture? And that's what happened to Bharat. The Bharat culture remained and will remain because there is no killing of other culture. And there is acceptance. There is a feeling of gratitude. There is a feeling that I'm happy to be a human. We believe in rebirth. We believe that if we don't do good karmas, it will affect us. So we have so much a deep culture and philosophy, which is now being scientifically proven. That Indian culture is so much accepted. Yoga, is all over the world. So I think our culture is becoming global culture. It's the other way now. Global culture wanted to kill us. It didn't happen. Now they are saying, let's accept this culture. Maybe there's something in this culture which will make us better. And I think that's what is happening. And that's why we have this body called Global Citizen Forum. We are all global citizens. For us, the whole world is one family. We don't consider only Bharat as our family. The whole world, the whole Vasudha is our family. So I think when we have, that's why we said global citizens. And in our schools, we teach right from first year, the students that they are global citizens. We are not just Bharat citizens. And I think that teaching and that thinking has been there for thousands of years. There's no other culture who has that. There's no other culture which has women gods. They're only male gods. There's no other culture which has children being sanskaras. Right from a child is welcome as if he's a god coming to your house. So you even before the birth, the mother is worshipped because she's going to give a child, a birth to a child. So we have the sanskara, 16 sanskaras which are there, which gives so much of respect to human being, which is there. So I think we have a lot of things in our culture which is so big that the world will have nothing but to adopt it. We don't have to worry about our culture getting lost. Their culture are getting lost. And that's what is happening when we go out. You will see what's happening in US and other places. Indian families are highly regarded because of their culture and because of their family values.
So your final message to the candidates, those who are going to be the part of the national building.
Well, all of you will be part of national building. Some will be by having a post, some without having some other post. So it's not that we will. If you don't get the IAS, the world is not falling apart. IAS or IPS are the only God positions, which are there. There are so many positions which are there. And I think we all have to be national building. I am part of national building. You are part of national building. So somebody asked me, why are you doing national building? What's so special? If you think the whole world is your family, then what's so special? The special thing is that we, Bharatiya, we believe in that culture, what you talk. So if Bharat is not built, the world will collapse. If Bharat does not take a lead, who will take the lead? Whoever has taken a lead, he has only destroyed the world. Only you need a nation which, when they take the lead, they will build the world. So building Bharat is building the world, which is there.
Thanks for the wonderful message. So the key takeaway from the entire suggestions which we got is at Bharat at 100, we need to have a gender equal Bharat with so much of inclusivity. We need to have a social equality with the social security benefits and reduce the informalization. And we need technology for poor and inclusive technology for all. We need cultural sustainability where we give importance to the protection of the culture. And above all, like our ma'am said, we need to focus on the future. The young lads of the nation, we have to solve their mental issues and we have to bring down the mental trauma. So this is the aspirations which we have discussed today with respect to Bharat at 100. Now I welcome our director from Delhi, Mr. Anand Sahu sir, to address the gathering regarding the Bharat at 100 and also to wish the aspirants. Can I take this mic? So I request our I'll, sir,
can you hear me?
Just a second.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, now you are audible, sir.
First of all, I would like to thank our great global leader, thought leader, and great successful industrialist, wellness leader. Also, he is a wellness ambassador. Also, he himself believes in technology. Who has spared his time, precious time, on his busy schedule. I mean, he has been traveling around the world, but he has spared his precious time for the aspirants of our makers Academy. I thank to all the students who has spent their, busy minute-to-minute schedule. Because on short notice, we have requested everyone, not only at Chennai, but other branches also, they are all participating. And thanks to Mr. Bhuminathan, our friend, and he is also, always taking the challenge. I told him within 1 hour, he started communicating, and we should clap for him also. Because, the civil service aspirants, they are made to meet the challenges. What Dr. M told, once India emerges as a global leader, Indians will make everybody around the world, because the global citizen, Dr. M is always talking about the global citizen. He never talks about only Indian citizen. He talks about the beyond gender, beyond nationality, and right of equality around the world. I think there was some disturbance. He is telling how can these informal workers can get, their social security, and with their enhancement of life, development, the country will develop. So that is how once the worker and labor and unemployed youth, educated or uneducated, if they develop, India will definitely, the Bharat at 100 will be the developed country, developed nation. That is his emphasis, and we appreciate Dr. M. Dr. Modi, BK Modi, has been always thinking beyond, at least 50 or 100 years ahead. He is talking about the space. See, that there is a air space and beyond air space. So Dr. M is telling, see, airspace every country is controlling, but beyond airspace, there is an open space which is bigger than the airspace. That needs to be controlled by the Indian and the technology, and which we have, and our young entrepreneurs can take over. And he wanted to build an army, space army, so that can protect in terms of any injustice around the world, especially for India and Indians around the world. That is his, vision. So I would be very, great, happiest person to see India developed at 100. 45, 47. India should be a developed nation, and that can happen only when every Indian will earn at least lakhs of rupees per month. Then only India can be treated as a developed nation at the in the year 2047. So Dr. M wants how Americans during COVID time has printed $3 trillion. Why not India can print at least 5 trillion rupees? Because Indian population is more. We are in need of the money. People are in need of the money. They need health and education and shelter. What Indian politics and democracy has been talking so much, but we are not able to fulfill the aspiration of the people of the country. That is the reason we need to bridge the gap and bring that sustainability and sustainable social security and right of equality. When we talk, then only it is justice to all equal. Thank you so much, everybody, for giving your patience hearing. Thank you so much. And my best wishes to all the civil service aspirants at any point of time, anywhere in the world, whatever you have desired, keep your desire high, your goal high, because goal is always shifting. If you keep low, you have to shift again. So you have to keep your goal high. Thank you so much. Namaste.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for joining us online and inspiring the students. Thank you, sir. So now we have come to an end for an inspiring afternoon. So in this wonderful afternoon, we got the opportunity to meet one of the pioneer with respect to India's technology. So sir is known for introducing the telecom technology for the first time in India. He brought the mobile phones for the first time in India. Long back in 1990s, 1994, 95, on the time sir brought mobile technology here. Sir used to talk about the smart cities 10 years before even it was talked in India. So now sir is a pioneer and he took a lot of efforts to bring e-vehicles. So e-vehicles are going to be the future. So we are aspiring to build a strong e-vehicle technology in India. So in likewise, sir is known for many firsts. So thank you, sir. Thanks for joining us and inspiring our civil services aspirants. Surely, it was a very enriching session to know a lot of insights, and you discussed a lot of anecdotes. So all those things were very useful for us, and it will be useful for our aspirants for their preparation and for their life. Thank you, sir. I would like to thank our founder director Bhuminathan sir for organizing such an event. So generally, we get opportunity to meet such persons only during some conclave or after getting service. Only if we become IAS, we can meet such persons. But we are getting an opportunity to meet even when we are aspirant itself. So thank you, sir. Thanks for bringing such chief guests and on conducting the King's Talk. And we thank Preeti ma'am and Payal ma'am for joining us. And we thank our director joining us from Delhi, Anand Sahu sir. Thank you, sir. And we thank Satyashri ma'am and Vijita Dinagaran ma'am. And we thank all the students who have joined and listened to this entire session. I hope we keep all these things in our mind. Gender equal India, social inequality less Bharat, technology for poor, that should be the aim for Bharat, cultural sustainability, and children should be without any mental health issues and they should be clear. So we should reduce the addiction. And above all the social values and ethics we have to take to the children. So we have to take the social value and ethics to our children so that only those children are going to be the main players when Bharat is at 100. We will be at our 50s, but they will be at their youth at that point of time. So, so that is our aspiration for Bharat at 100. Thank you, sir. Thanks for joining the event. Now we'll come to the end of the event. Now we'll end the event with national anthem.